everyone, Dirk here from DPG Off-road, and today we're going to talk about what's my favorite roof rack for the Jeep Cherokee. And it's made by Garvin Industries. It's their wilderness roof racks. We've got a special edition rack that they build just for DPG Off-road and our customers. If you're looking for a roof rack for your Cherokee or other vehicle, there are a lot of options out there, but what's the best? We've used a lot of different racks. We've sold different racks. We've carried different brands over the last 20 years. But for our purposes, if I'm going to spend money on a roof rack, to me, to spend $100 or $200 on a rack that's falling apart or the powder coat is falling off and it's rusting in 6 months or a year, I don't want to waste my money. I want to put something on my vehicle that's going to last, that's well designed, super strong. So if you're looking for a rack for your Cherokee and you really want a good rack, consider the Wilderness rack. This one again, the 34016-4, that Wilderness makes this rack for DPG Off-road. We found this rack to be the best combination of strength, fit, durability, versatility, and value. Out of all the racks I've seen out there, it's hard to beat a Wilderness for all of those things together. This rack is super strong. I've seen racks out there that if you go up and grab it, it moves. If you grab it and shake it long enough, you'll pull it apart. And that's just not something I want to spend money on. This rack, if we grab this, you can shake the whole vehicle with that rack. It's just super stout, super strong, although not incredibly heavy. You don't want too much weight up on the top of your vehicle either. So awesome racks. As opposed to, for example, in the past, we had one rack that we carried for a few years. I won't name the company, we'll call it Brand K, just as a random brand. Those racks, I remember, the mounting system set on top of a cross rail, and when it was all done, it was very tall. It kind of looked like an afterthought. And we had people regularly breaking gutter mounts on the racks. And we would call and say, hey, we've got a broken mount here. And the owner of the company actually told me finally, he said, you know, we really don't make those racks to work or to use out on the trail. They're really more for looks. And wow, we stopped carrying those many years ago. Our customers use their racks. Do they look good? Yes, I think that this rack, the way it's mounted, it's a great looking rack. It's a strong accent to how the vehicle looks, but if it doesn't work and you can't use it, it's really not worth anything. This particular rack is a really large size, so you can put a lot of gear up there. You can, for camping, hunting, you could use that as a shooting platform. All sorts of uses, very versatile. This particular rack is 54 inches wide, so 4.5 feet wide by 6 feet long. It takes up most of the roof of that Jeep Cherokee. It is a large rack. With these racks, again, the fit, the finish, the powder coat is excellent. I've seen so many racks and other products in the off-road industry that come out of the box looking great, but 6 months later, the powder coat's just bubbling off and falling off and you've got rust everywhere. A lot of companies out there, unfortunately, are not taking the time to do good, solid prep, and the powder coating process just isn't that great. It looks good for a minute, but this rack's been on this Jeep now for 2 to 3 years, I believe, and we'll come up and see in a minute, but the powder coat just looks great. The rack is in great shape and it will be for years to come. These racks, again, are available in this configuration, and the sport rack is a 4-inch tall, or we also have a 6-inch tall off-road rack, they call it. Same strength and everything, it's just one's a little bit taller. The off-road rack, the top bar comes out even with the bottom bar. This one's swept back slightly, has a little more sleek look, which I kind of like, but either one we have available. These racks are available with tons of accessories. Here's a picture of this rack in a very common configuration with a wind deflector and a spare tire mount. Very simple, it's ready to accept whatever other gear you want to put on it. So you can get wind deflector, a spare tire mount, axe and shovel mounts, high lift jack mounts. You can mount 5-gallon gas or water cans, Rotopax cans. You could mount an ARB or other awning, retractable awning on the side of that rack. These racks also, you can use, there are adapters for Yakima and Thule mounts. So my goodness, you could put bicycles, canoes, surfboards, kayaks, all sorts of stuff. It's one of the most versatile products that you could buy for your XJ. So nowadays we're finding more and more people. We still have the hardcore crowd, but a lot of guys are moving more into overlanding and expedition, camping, hunting, that kind of a thing. And there's just not a product that will allow you that much versatility as a good solid roof rack. It's a great investment. For camping, you could fit a rooftop tent on this, or if you want to keep it primitive, you could fab up a low buck PVC frame and a tarp setup and put a real low buck tent up there, get up off the ground away from the cold or predators or other things out in the wild for some primitive camping. A lot of different ways you can use this rack. These racks are modular, so instead of being one piece, that would have to ship truck freight. It would be a huge, heavy one piece. They're modular, so that rack comes in pieces. It can be shipped UPS. Once it's all bolted together, it's incredibly strong and rigid, as you see. It's just a super stout rack. All wilderness racks have very exhaustive, very extensive instructions. All the hardware is all included. So let's come in for a little closer look of that rack, and let's take a look at a couple of things. Okay, so just a little closer in shot here on this rack. You can see you've got your gutter mount, which, by the way, that is the strongest point you could mount a rack on a Cherokee. It's not the fascia, that's just the drip rail's a fascia, but there's a body seam in the gutter mount there. A good gutter mount is the strongest mount you could put on one of these vehicles. And you can see how all of that is very adjustable. When it's all bolted together and unitized, it's extremely strong. You can see where the rack bolts together here. And then I don't know if you can see on the video, but the powder coat after, again, this has been on here 2 or 3 years and it looks brand new. The powder coat's just fantastic that Wilderness does. So here you see a top shot of our Wilderness rack, and this is in off-road mode. So I have the spare tire inside. I've got the seat folded down. If we're doing overlanding and expedition camping, I'll keep that 35-inch spare up on the roof. But if we're gonna hit more extreme trails and off-camber situations, I'm gonna move that spare down. I don't want it that high on the roof when we're gonna be off-camber. But here you can see the Wilderness floor rail system. All of that bolts in as well. Every one of those rails has multiple nutserts in each floor rail. So it bolts down solid. You can adjust the rails to whatever width you want. Very solid system for camping or a shooting platform. You could lay whatever piece of plywood, or you could lay a bunkie board up there for camping. Any number of options, but a very strong solid flooring system in this rack as well. So that's our 340 16-4 Special Edition rack from Wilderness for the Jeep Cherokee. Again, they make roof racks for a variety of vehicles. So if you're looking for a roof rack that's going to be looking and working great, a super strong, versatile rack for years to come, take a good look at Wilderness. If you have any questions about these racks, post them below or give us a call at DPG Off-road. There'll be a link to this particular roof rack in the description below. If you like this video, hit the like button. We appreciate that. If you want to see future tech videos and product reviews, hit the subscribe button and subscribe. We've got a lot more information coming down the road. So from Dirk at DPG Off-road, thanks for watching. God bless America, and we'll see you next time.